Welcome to this explainer. We've all been there, right? You're gearing up to apply for a mortgage, maybe a new car loan, or even just a rewards credit card. You've prepped your documents, you've checked your bank balances, and you take a deep breath. It's this high stakes, kind of anxiety inducing moment. But there's one invisible hurdle that trips up literally thousands of applicants right at the finish line, and that is a frozen credit report. Today, this explainer is going to be your ultimate step-by-step guide to seamlessly unfreezing your credit so you can secure that loan without breaking a sweat.
Ever had a loan denied despite having great credit? Picture this scenario, because it's highly relatable. You know your credit score is fantastic. You submit your application, totally confident you're going to be approved in seconds. But instead, the lender tells you your application is stalled, pending, or flat out rejected. No way, right? Why? Well, because a while back you did the responsible thing and froze your credit to protect yourself from identity theft, and you completely forgot to unfreeze it. The lender simply couldn't access your file. It's incredibly common, but the good news is it's also incredibly easy to fix once you know how the whole system works.
So, what is a credit freeze? To understand how to undo it, we really need to look at what it actually is. Simply put, it's a free tool placed at the credit bureaus that restricts access to your credit report to prevent identity theft. Think of it like a giant, heavy-duty deadbolt on your financial house. When it's locked, schemers cannot open new loans of credit cards in your name because lenders just want to approve an application without reviewing that report first. The deadbolt keeps the bad guys out. But when you want to invite a legitimate lender inside, you need to know exactly how to turn the key. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The credit freeze basics. 2. How to unfreeze. 3. Temporary versus permanent lifts. 4. Timelines and planning. 5. Real scenarios and tips. And 6. Summary and disclaimer. All right, starting with Section 1, the credit freeze basics. When it comes to checking your credit, there are 2 distinct types of inquiries you need to know about. A freeze specifically blocks what we call hard inquiries. These are the checks lenders run when you officially apply for new credit, like that mortgage or auto loan we talked about. If that deadbolt is locked, the hard inquiry just bounces right off. On the flip side, soft inquiries are allowed right through the freeze. Soft pulls are kind of like someone looking through the window of your financial house. They can't come in and change anything, but they can take a peek. This includes existing creditors reviewing your account, employers doing background checks, or even those companies sending you pre-approved credit card offers in the mail. For those, you absolutely do not need to unfreeze your credit.
Moving right along to Section 2, how to unfreeze credit.
Now, here's the thing. There is no magical single button to press to do this. You have to deal with the major credit bureaus individually. I highly encourage you to take a screenshot of this cheat sheet right now. As you can see, the 3 major nationwide bureaus are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and they each maintain a totally separate credit report for you. You can contact each of them online through their dedicated portals, by calling their automated phone systems, or by sending paper mail. But honestly, doing it online or by phone are by far the fastest and most highly recommended methods.
No matter which of the 3 bureaus you're dealing with, the unfreezing process universally boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you contact the specific bureau via their website or phone number. Second, you verify your identity. Now, this is where it gets slightly nuanced. Experian, for example, often requires the specific PIN you were issued when you first froze your credit. Equifax, on the other hand, they recently updated their system, so if you log in online, you might just use your standard account password without even needing a PIN. Pretty easy. Finally, step 3, you just set the duration for the freeze lift. But before we move on, I really need to emphasize this crucial warning. Unfreezing your credit at one bureau does not unfreeze the others. I mean it. Unfreezing your file at Equifax does absolutely nothing to your Experian or TransUnion files. Each bureau operates completely independently. You must not get a false sense of security thinking one quick phone call solves the whole shebang. Because if a lender pulls a report from a bureau you forgot to unfreeze, your application is still going to hit a brick wall. Which brings us to Section 3, temporary versus permanent lifts.
When deciding on the duration of your lift, your strategy here really matters. A temporary lift, which is sometimes called a thaw, gives access for a specific date range that you choose, and then it automatically refreezes. You could say, hey, lift the freeze from Monday to Friday. When Friday ends, boom, the deadbolt automatically slides back into place. You don't have to remember to do a thing. Now, a permanent removal takes the freeze off indefinitely until you request a new one. That means your credit file stays wide open. Honestly, unless you simply no longer want the protection of a credit freeze at all, a temporary lift is almost always the safer, smarter choice.
Let's dive into Section 4, timelines and planning ahead.
So, say you're sitting in a dealership trying to buy a car. How fast can you actually unfreeze your credit? Well, the crucial point is right here: 1 hour. Under federal law, if you submit your request to lift a freeze online or by phone, the credit bureau is legally obligated to process it and open your file within 1 single hour. It's a federal mandate, not just a courtesy. And in reality, if you use their online portals, the unfreeze is often instant. I mean, it happens within minutes. You could literally unfreeze your file on your smartphone while sipping a coffee in the lender's waiting room. How cool is that? However, if you choose to go the old-fashioned snail mail route, the timeline shifts dramatically. Let's look at this. Day 1, you send the request by mail. Then, day X, the bureau actually receives the letter. Federal law gives them 3 business days from the exact date they receive it to lift the freeze. So actually think about it. If you mail it on a Monday, it might arrive on Thursday, meaning the freeze might not be lifted until the following Tuesday. If you're renting an apartment or trying to close a mortgage, doing this by paper mail means you need to plan ahead by at least a full business week, if not more. Okay, get ready for this because here is perhaps the best number in this entire explainer: $0. That's right. Thanks to a 2018 federal law, it is 100% free to freeze, unfreeze, temporarily lift, or permanently remove a credit freeze at all 3 bureaus. You can do it as many times as you want, and they cannot charge you a single dime. So just a heads up, if a website is asking you for your credit card to lift a freeze, you are definitely in the wrong place.
All right, moving on to Section 5, Real Scenarios and Tips.
This slide brilliantly illustrates how you should tailor your temporary lift window to the specific type of application you're submitting. For example, if you're standing at the cash register applying for a retail store card, you probably only need to lift the freeze for about 24 hours. Are you rate shopping for mortgage or auto loan? Give yourself a 30-day window so multiple lenders can pull your file without a hitch. And for an apartment rental, property managers usually need a few days, so a 7 to 14-day window is perfect. Basically, you want to let the deadbolt lock itself as soon as that window closes. Let's go through a few rapid-fire, actionable best practices. Number 1, just ask the lender which specific bureau they check. Many credit card issuers only check one single bureau. If they tell you they only use Experian, guess what? You only need to unfreeze Experian. That saves you so much time and leads perfectly into our second tip. Keep the other 2 bureaus safely frozen to maintain your maximum protection against identity theft. And third, if you're someone who likes to be super organized, the bureaus actually allow you to schedule a temporary lift up to 15 days in advance. Now, here's one vital distinction to make while you're navigating those bureau websites. You might see them trying to upsell you on something called a credit lock. Please be aware of the difference here. A credit freeze is a free tool entirely governed and protected by federal law. A credit lock, on the other hand, is a commercial product created by the bureaus themselves. It might require a paid subscription, and its terms are governed by a contract you sign with them, which could actually include things like arbitration clauses. So for sure, if you want the strongest legal protection at 0 cost, you absolutely want the federally mandated freeze. Let's move to Section 6 and see how this all builds into our summary and final disclaimer. Let's recap what we've learned. First, remember that freezes only block hard inquiries for new credit. Your existing accounts and soft pulls are totally unaffected. Second, unfreezing your credit is federally mandated to be completely free and, if done online or by phone, exceptionally fast, like within 1 hour fast. Third, always opt for a temporary lift tailored to your application timeline so you don't have to remember to refreeze it later. And finally, the golden rule. You must contact Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion individually. Before we finish up, please note our standard disclaimer. The information provided in this explainer is for general educational purposes only and does not constitute financial or legal advice. Since everyone's financial situation is totally unique, we always encourage you to consult with a certified financial advisor or legal professional for personalized guidance regarding your specific credit and loan applications. So you now hold the keys to that deadbolt on your financial house. You know exactly how to keep scammers out while effortlessly rolling out the red carpet for the lenders you actually want to do business with. Your credit is secure, you understand the federal law is protecting you, and you know exactly what buttons to push. The only question left is, are you ready to unlock your next big financial opportunity? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy applying.